Today on Capitol Hill, a tense exchange unfolded as Senator Jacky Rosen pressed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on a topic that has been simmering beneath the surface for months: the question of whether senior Pentagon officials are upholding the moral standards the nation expects from its military leadership. If you're following this story and want clear, honest breakdowns like this, be sure to subscribe for more coverage.
Senator Rosen, you're recognized. I thought I would just create a stir down there.
No. I thank you to my seatmates on both sides. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We take care of each other. And again, thank you, Chairman Wicker, Ranking Member Reed, for holding this hearing, Mr. Secretary. We have a short amount of time, so I'm just going to ask a few simple questions, and I would just appreciate if, for some of them, you would just answer yes or no. And so, Secretary Hegseth, would you agree that every senior official in the Department of Defense must reflect the values and conduct that our service members must uphold and our citizens expect?
Senator, we want to uphold the highest possible standards.
I'll take that for a yes. So would you also agree then that anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories have no place in our government or military? Yes or no?
They should not.
Thank you. So would you also agree that anyone who has posted, and I'm going to quote, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories lifted right out of a neo-Nazi playbook, end quote, shouldn't be anywhere near a position of power? Yes or no?
Since I don't believe the characterization of many officials in the news media, I would need to see precisely what's being characterized.
But generally, would you not say that if
generally
we
speaking,
thought something
sure,
was coming out of a neo-Nazi playbook, it doesn't have any place in our Department of Defense? Now, Secretary Hegseth, the quote that I just read you was referencing Ms. Kingsley Wilson, the DOD press secretary. It's a direct quote from her, who my Republican colleagues on this committee have also expressed alarm over due to her comments. In fact, one colleague said, and I'm going to quote again, "Obviously, I don't agree with her comments. I trust the Pentagon will address this," end quote. However, in the months since, not only have you not addressed these anti-Semitic comments, you have promoted Ms. Wilson. This seems to be at odds, honestly, with President Trump's commitment, very public commitment, to combat anti-Semitism, which you just said you too agreed with. So, Secretary Hegseth, given the rise in anti-Semitic violence, hate crimes in our nation, and to show that the Trump administration, your administration, does have a zero-tolerance policy for anti-Semitism, will you dismiss Ms. Kingsley from her role as a U.S. military spokesperson today, yes or no?
Again, that's why I referenced the context and characterization.
Well, we'll send you the quote,
I've worked directly with her. She does a fantastic job, and there's any suggestion that I or her or others are party to anti-Semitism is a mischaracterization attempting to win political points.
Sir, and I'm going to say
Senator,
that
you're attempting to win political points on the backs of mischaracterizing the statements of a member of my department, and I'm not going to stand for that.
You are not a serious person. You are not serious about rooting out, fighting anti-Semitism within the ranks of our DOD. It's despicable. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'm going to move on to General Hawk. The sudden and inexplicable dismissal of General Hawk. He serves both Director of the National Security Agency, Commander of U.S. Cybercom. It's deeply concerning, raises significant questions about the decision-making process, its potential consequences. Public reports indicate that the removal of General Hawk, who has served his country proudly, has been influenced by social media influencer, a personality on social media, Laura Loomer, spreads conspiracy theories. She's been denounced even by Republicans. And the idea is that any leaders within our agencies responsible for our nation's security, somebody would be dismissed based on the advice of a social media influencer is alarming, to say the least. It's surely not how we should be running our military. So were you consulted regarding General Hawk's dismissal, yes or no?
Well, Senator, I would not advise believing everything you read in the media. And I'm consulted on every single decision.
Okay,
I'm the decision maker for the department, and we all serve at the pleasure of the president. And
so
we have the prerogative to make those decisions for the best for the country, and we did that.
Did you personally approve Mr. Hawk's dismissal, yes or no?
Anyone coming or going at the Defense Department, especially at that level, would ultimately be a decision made by me, and I stand behind that.
Did you personally relieve him? Did you personally relieve him? Yes or no?
Anyone at that level
You did,
who is
so that's a
relieved
yes.
would be relieved by the Secretary of Defense. Would be relieved by the Secretary of Defense.
Was there a specific justification for General Hawk's dismissal? Was there a specific justification for General Hawk's dismissal?
Ma'am, we all serve at the pleasure of the President, and the President deserves the type of
true?
commanders and advisors that he thinks will best
Did you
equip him
discuss General
to
Hawk's
accomplish the
dismissal with
mission.
Laura Loomer prior to his removal?
I don't discuss who I talk about anything with, but ultimately this is my decision, and he serves at the pleasure of the President, and that's why he's no longer there.
So do you believe it's appropriate for any social media personality to influence personnel decisions in your department, yes or no?
I believe your time is up, Senator.
Oh, it is not up to you to tell me when my time is up.
Well, the time
And I
of
am
the
going to
senator.
say, Mr. Secretary, you're either feckless or complicit. You're not in control of your department. Yours is unserious. It is shocking. You're not combating anti-Semitism within your ranks. It's a dangerous and pivotal time in our nation's history. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back. And I don't appreciate the smirk, sir. You are the Secretary of Defense.
The time of the gentlelady has expired.
Senator Rosen began her questioning with a simple premise that every senior official in the Department of Defense must embody the values expected of American service members. It was a warm-up to a much sharper line of inquiry, one that would soon draw the room into uncomfortable territory. This is not just political sparring. It speaks to who has the authority to shape military culture and whether extremist rhetoric has found its way into the leadership ranks. For more in-depth analysis of hearings like this, remember to subscribe to the channel. The senator then moved straight to the heart of the matter. She asked whether anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories have any place in government or the military. It should have been a straightforward yes, but Secretary Hegseth gave a more measured response, prompting Rosen to reinforce the urgency of her question. This is important context for viewers because anti-Semitic incidents in the United States have sharply increased in recent years, and officials across the government have been publicly pledging to confront the trend. Staying informed is essential, so make sure you subscribe if you want updates on these developing issues. Rosen then introduced a specific example, quoting what she described as anti-Semitic conspiracy theories coming directly from a senior Pentagon spokesperson, Kingsley Wilson. According to Rosen, these were not vague or misinterpreted statements. She said they were ideas lifted directly from neo-Nazi messaging and therefore deeply incompatible with the values of a modern, inclusive military. Her line of questioning highlighted a broader point that many Americans may not realize. The Pentagon is not just a fighting force, it is also one of the nation's largest workplaces, and the values upheld at the top have a massive influence on morale, cohesion, and public trust. If you want detailed explanations like this one that go beyond the headlines, go ahead and subscribe. Rosen noted that even some Republican members of the committee expressed concern when Wilson's comments first surfaced. One GOP senator said publicly that he expected the Pentagon to address it. But instead of disciplinary action or clarification, Rosen pointed out that Wilson was promoted. This is where the hearing became more than an exchange about one official. It became a test of whether the administration's stated commitments to combating anti-Semitism are actually being carried out by its own appointees. That tension matters because political administrations often make promises that can be difficult to enforce internally, especially in large federal agencies with their own cultures and hierarchies. To continue learning how these dynamics shape national policy, remember to subscribe for deeper analysis. Secretary Hegseth pushed back slightly, questioning the accuracy of how the media has characterized the comments. But Rosen's point was bigger than one article. She was drawing attention to a broader accountability gap. When senior officials make statements that parallel extremist rhetoric, even unconsciously, it sends signals that can erode trust and weaken the very institution they serve. Understanding this nuance helps us see why these hearings matter, because they reveal not just what officials say, but what they prioritize and what they choose to overlook. If you appreciate commentary that breaks down the stakes like this, don't forget to subscribe. As anti-Semitic violence continues to rise nationwide, Rosen's closing argument landed with weight. If the Department of Defense is going to maintain credibility as a defender of American values, then it must also protect those values from within its own ranks. today's exchange was more than political theater. It was a reminder that national security is not just about weapons or strategy. It is also about moral leadership, example setting, and the integrity of the people trusted with immense power. For ongoing coverage of these hearings and clear, accessible context, make sure you subscribe and stay connected.